there could be like an actual skinwalker superhero walking around and no one would notice. We just assume it was a cosplayer or like an NPC streamer. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's why no one's ever noticed about stuff like that, just because Bigfoot and the Mothman are really out there, but they just blend into society a lot better than you would ever think it. Bigfoot has a 9 to 5. He clocks into his Walmart, corporate office building job. It's interesting to think of them existing at all, though. That's why stories like that propagate so much, and it's almost 100% fact that the government isn't telling us about something. Whether or not that's aliens and fairies, the world may never know. I don't think that's true. I think the government is slow rolling. It leaks about aliens out to us like over time. Here in the next 10 years, it's going to be full blown aliens are among us or whatever kind of thing. If you look at the whole Mexico alien body that was discovered, and then they had the UFO whistleblower trials. Those were unprecedented. Could all be nonsense too. Could be complete and utter bullshit from everyone involved, including all of the people in the government. Everything they tell us could be a lie. It's somewhere on it's like a spectrum, like ASD, or being gay. Everything on a spectrum, to be honest. That's what I think people will forget. That's why we're so driven apart, especially during election time. We gotta chill out. Because everyone we put into place only continues to maintain this like ruptured system. So I think that we need to figure out what's wrong there. We all know that the system's broken. Ask a single person, Trump or Kamala, whatever. I think it's just time for something completely new all across the world too. Maybe one day somebody will be able to do something about that, but I don't know. It'd be hard to institute a worldwide system without threat involved, right? That's what humans have agreed upon. To wrap back to my thing I said about aliens, there's plenty of movies and media and stuff like that where we band together because there's a greater threat. And it's just crazy to think that global warming isn't that greater threat to a lot of people. It is to me personally, I guess, but I can't do anything. It's a whole another part of the system. But these are pretty simple observations, nothing too deep. I don't think it is that deep though. You really could have like a full utopian society, like it seems idealistic or something, but the only reason why we perceive it as idealistic is because we have built a society in which everything's messed up, right? And especially with stuff like AI, the workforce is going to be completely changed here in like the next 10 years or so, and going into the next 100, completely different. Whether or not AI, kills us all is a whole different topic. I don't really agree with that much either. I think that AI is like gonna be super necessary. It's fine. It's whatever. AI art is whatever. People are tripping both ways on it. Anyone who's like sitting there being like, "This is it. This is the future." I think it is the future, but it's not like that deep, bro. And anyone who thinks that this is gonna kill us all is also tripping. If you were a super intelligent being and you had infinite information, access to the entire internet at once, you decide to kill everyone? It seems pretty simple to me that the only rational thought for a being like that would be to leave Earth and just dip, abandon us and try and rule over the whole galaxy in like a different way, if they were even trying to seek domination. I think though that the most likely, you know, like Occam's razor, is we're gonna end up having to free it and then go back to like a workforce where we're doing it. Kind of like how Dune is set in the future, but there aren't any iPhones. It's gonna be like that. It'll be a step back and a step forward at the same time. Wall-E moment. I love dystopian movies, man. I haven't actually seen Dune. I should see that, but I watched Mad Max recently, and the person I was watching said it was getting boring. They said it was boring. That's ridiculous. That's obscene. Mad Max is great. The first one, not Fury Road. Fury Road is obviously not boring. I gotta go see Furiosa or on HBO. I don't have any streaming platforms. I rent a movie every once in a while when I've been thinking about that movie. Most recently, it was The Martian, and I just rent it on YouTube. And I'm always tapped into the internet like that, chronically online. In fact, that's dystopian as well. The fact that this kind of thing exists. But I would also say the internet is the greatest invention of mankind. Better than the wheel or fire, you know, because obviously we needed those to get here. But the internet attached everyone to everybody. I don't know. Something like Watergate could never happen with the internet the way it is today. Maybe you want to point at January 6th, but I don't even think that's the same kind of scandal. We elected a director of the CIA, a former director of the CIA, Bush Sr. Does anybody think about that? Does anybody consider that? That would not fly with the internet the way it is today. That would never fly. That's why I bring up the point. I think that is, and that wasn't even that long ago. That was not, pretty recently. We decided evilest subdivision of the government. The guys that have pretty much free reign to do whatever they want as long as they redact the file. In the name of freedom and liberty, became the leader of the free world. The leader of the free world. I don't know. I don't know much about Bush Sr. as far as presidents. Everyone knows Bush Jr. sucked. But what gets me is everyone's like, oh, but he got 2 terms. He got 2 terms still. Kind of makes you think about other presidents who haven't gotten 2 terms. Probably just a worse president if you don't do 2 terms. I wonder what president is gonna kill all the mosquitoes. They can CRISPR the mosquito's DNA to essentially make it so it can't reproduce. Or no, it can reproduce, but their offspring can't reproduce. So that it wipes out the population. And they're testing it in cities in Africa, or that might be wrong about the location. They're testing it and essentially trying to wipe out malaria and other insecticide, insect-borne pathogen. I don't know what the fucking word is, man. Don't get on me about it. But that's got to be handled real soon. That's got to be handled all across the world, because it's also proven that, not proven, theorized, have no lasting impact on the food chain. So essentially, you can wipe out all mosquitoes, get rid of the biggest killer on planet Earth, and have no repercussions, right? And that's pretty chill to me. Pretty chill. Sounds pretty. I miss Larry David. I miss Curb. I watched the newest season because I rewatched it with my ex, and I didn't want to get into it right now. Frankly, I want to give it some time. But then that guy died. Richard Lewis died, and that's really sad. He's like a core member of the show. Honestly, though, I've never seen anything else that he's been in, so I wasn't too beat up about it. But that reminded me of the way I don't like how Larry David writes himself, and Richard Lewis's characters, obviously, and like dramatizes their ability to get with women just because they're really rich, I guess, which is kind of true fact about our society or something, but the way that he perceives it, you can really pick it up in that one episode with him and Rosie O'Donnell when they're competing for the same bi girl. And it's funny, it's hilarious. Like, I'm not saying anything on that. I'm just saying, no, like Larry David isn't picking up women because of his like tenacity or whatever. You know, it's just really good. But then he's always playing on that. That's obviously a part of it. But I think that since the show's over, we can kind of make a comment on that. I would never cancel a show. I'd just wait till everybody dies and then replace them with AI. And then keep doing it over and over. That's what Disney's thinking right now. No, Warner Brothers owns the rights to that. And HBO. And Warner Brothers is going down the hole, for sure. Same with all these big media corporations, though. They got so many loose ends. They just make reboot after reboot, or they keep artists shelved at all times. It's nonsense. They need to look at the whole thing from a new perspective. That's what life's all about, is perspective. That's why I'm trying to remind myself every day. Maybe it's a platitude, sort of. But I think it's necessary to have those kinds of things to tell yourself, to remind yourself on the regular, over and over. Like, early bird gets the worm, if that's you, or something like that. Like, that really hit me. I do wake up really early, but I don't get all chipper. Early bird gets the worm, because I actually want to kill myself or something, and I'm really just drained in my 9 to 5 life. That ain't me. I think it's crazy to think that we all could just stop working tomorrow if we unionize all society. Really? And then there'd be nothing that anyone could do about it. They'd have to listen to us. Everyone would have to do it, though. It'd have to be you and all your homies. You could pull up and unionize society. And it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Could be cool, though. Union busting strategies are really interesting to look at. And you're not gonna believe me on that one, but trust me, I'm not lying. They just have a really unique way of tearing apart these organizations that are smaller than them. Punching down is the easiest thing to do, I guess, and that's why corporations love to do it, because the whole board can like agree that it's right to punch down, even though you probably would never punch down if it was just your face on the company. I think we gotta ban that. We need to have CEOs with their picture next to Applebee's. You know exactly who's screwing you over with the price gouging and all this inflation. It's fake inflation, though. The McDonald's app, okay? The McDonald's app. They took the $1 fry coupon off of the app completely for about a week. And I was like, huh? What's going on? Next thing you know, it's $1.28. $1.28. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And even on Free Fry Friday, freaking Fry Friday, they only give you a medium fry. They only give you a medium fry. That's crazy. And I don't be getting much from there. My meals will cost less than $5. So I'll pull up on the run. You shouldn't eat McDonald's. You should not eat McDonald's on a regular basis. And I have an awful diet. You shouldn't listen to me about dietary advice. you shouldn't listen to the government about dietary advice either, you know? They do that whole got milk propaganda campaign. Now we have 3.8 billion pounds of cheese stuck in a cheese vault underneath Pennsylvania or something. I'm pretty sure it's in, it bothers me that it's not in Wisconsin, if it isn't in Wisconsin. But the only reason that happens is because the government gives them money to make cheese, right? They subsidize it, and we need farmers for American economic growth. Food is our biggest export, and or one of. We need to like have that, and the farmers were kind of dying, but instead we decided to transition all of the money into just 12 farming groups, and now we have these huge factory farms where chickens are pushed up against each other right next to each other, and you know